Hey out there, this is Undead Viking. I'm coming to you with another video review of a board game I've been playing the heck out of. There are lots of board games out there now that deal with zombies as a theme. And zombies in general are a pretty popular theme right now. Evil Dead just had a, which I guess technically isn't a zombie movie, but it's got Walking Dead things going on. Evil Dead, the remake just came out. Of course, you have the Walking Dead comic and the AMC show that people are just going crazy for. And it seems like, it just seems like everywhere you turn, there's a new zombie movie, or there's a new zombie book, or whatever. And I'm really looking forward to World War Z, the movie. It doesn't look like it's gonna really be like the book, which was amazing, but it does look like World War Z. The movie is coming out this summer, and that looks like it'll be at least pretty interesting, and I'm excited to check that out. But anyway, so the game that I'm talking about today is Zpocalypse. Zpocalypse is a game that went through Kickstarter. It was extremely successful. They hit a ton of funding goals, and they were able to overproduce the heck out of this game. Now, when you make a zombie game, you can kind of go one of two ways. You can kind of go a little abstract, if you will. A recent game that I played that I've enjoyed a lot of, Rise of the Zombies from DVG Games, is kind of an abstract game. There isn't a lot of intensity as far as the components goes. Or you can be a game like Zombicide, which is a game that I demoed at Gen Con. I don't own it. I haven't done a review of it because I don't own it, obviously. Like Zombicide, a game that did really well on Kickstarter as well. And games like Zpocalypse, which, of course, has cool little figures, and then of course, evil zombies and whatever. I did an unboxing video for the game, and I'm pretty sure. Well, hopefully you check that out. And if you hadn't, go check it out. You can kind of get a really good close look at the videos. I'll wait right here while you go check that out. Well, I'm not really gonna wait, but anyway. And so, and I can enjoy either spectrum of zombie game, if you will, as long as the game is fun. And Zpocalypse is a heck of a fun game. And I'm going to show you how you play the game. And it's got a lot of little pieces and stuff, so I apologize if I'm... The gameplay version or gameplay portion of this video might run a little long, but I want to kind of try to make sure you understand all phases of the game. This is going to sound really weird, but the game is the gameplay version. A buddy of mine sitting at the table, he goes, "You're not going to understand." He said, "This is going to be a really strange metaphor, but this game kind of feels like this game does for the whole zombie board game what the movie Full Metal Jacket did," and I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, and if you haven't watched Full Metal Jacket, this won't mean anything to you, but he said it's like there's two separate parts of the game, and it's just like, and one ties into the other, but they're kind of separate. And I was like, okay, I see what you're getting at there. And maybe it isn't the best metaphor in the world, but it does. Maybe if you've seen that movie, and once I show you how you play the game, you'll see where we're going with that. But anyway, as always, like these things, I'm going to show you how to play the game, and I'm going to show you the different rules and exactly how certain things work, like how do you fight the zombies, and what happens when the zombies attack you, and how do you defend yourself against zombies, and so on and so forth. And then I'm going to tell you exactly what I think about Zpocalypse. So I already told you that I enjoyed the heck out of it, but I definitely want to tell you exactly why I'm enjoying the heck out of it. So, well, there we go. And plus, just games with really cool miniatures and stuff like that. And this is one of those things where I can paint miniatures, and I can paint them okay, and so I will go out and I'll buy a $10 pack of plastic miniatures or whatever, Reaper Bones or something like that, and I'll paint them. My daughter and I will paint them, and they won't look great, but I'll have fun doing it, but I'll say, oh, okay, cool, that was fun, and then but I'll never paint like these, because I know I don't want to ruin them, But anyway, so I mean, I dig the overproduction of this game a great deal, but you'll see more of it when I show you exactly how you play. So, all right, how to play Zpocalypse. Before I show you exactly how you play Zpocalypse, and I'm going to just do the opening scenario, I'm just going to show you some different parts of the game and their function. And so when I show it to you, I don't have to refer back, because this game, like a lot of games, thematic games or Ameritrash games, has a lot of different pieces. You can see there's lots of different decks of cards up here. You know, lots of cool dice, you know, zombie miniatures, hero miniatures, all kinds of crazy stuff going on. And it does take up a little bit of real estate on your table. So I've just kind of put everything out. Normally this would be more spread out when I would be getting ready to play the game, but I just wanted to show you a few of the things, and then I'm gonna like kind of clear this thing off, and I'm gonna show you exactly the different stages of a turn during a game of Zpocalypse. Quickly, this is a game that can be played co-op, semi-co-op, against each other, depending on the scenario that you're playing. This is the victory point track marker. If you're playing a game and to see who scores the most points, obviously you're going to be using the victory point tracker. It's really big, actually. You can notice it's as big as like this tile over here. But you do need to use it even if you are going to play a cooperative game, due to the fact that you'll see there's these red and green circles that at different locations as you gain like points, basically kind of experience. You get points for building fortification, for killing zombies, fulfilling missions, things like that. And when you get to those points, you'll get experience for your squad of survivors. And you can improve their firearm skill and their melee skill. And by improving those skills, you actually get better, obviously, at using those guns and melee weapons. And they actually have certain special abilities that you'll be able to enact once you are strong enough in those skills. Just for the sake of argument, explanation, like here's the scenario that I'll be showing. It's the main one, it's the basic one. This is kind of a cooperative game where everybody tries to survive as many nights as they possibly can against the zombies as they come and try to tear apart your fortifications in your bunker and kill you. You'll notice up in the corners here, there are the numbers there, and those will tell you how much experience you'll get when you get to those locations on the victory point marker, the red and green circles. So it also, I apologize, it also tells you exactly like how many cards you get and so on and so forth as far as when the game begins. And there's several different scenarios, and like I said, this is the main one. This is kind of like the bread and butter of the game, if you will. All right, just quickly, I was going to show you one of the player boards. Lots of different information on there. Of course, you can see there's several dials. You don't have to create these either. They're already put together for you. The dials are for the different skills. Like you can see the firearm skill, melee skill, smarts, and speed. And then the big one in the middle is both armor, which is the little thing in the middle because you get armor for your people that'll soak up damage, and also a hit point track marker, so that keeps track of all your hit points. And plus it has all the different, pretty much every rule that you need right there on the board ready for you. This is a really good player board, and they really went all out and made this pretty awesome. More games should try to do something like this. Just quickly, firearm skill and melee skill. You get that by getting experience, and also as different survivors will have different levels of the skill. It is inherently believed that even if you should lose a member of your squad, they've taught everybody else how. So if somebody joins your group of survivors that's a melee skill of 2, you get to add that to the melee skill and you never lose it. It never goes down. Smarts and skill, or smarts and movement. Smarts, your group is always as smart as the smartest person in the group, and it is always as slow as the slowest person in the group. So, just interesting little things how to keep track of that. But there you go. That's a player board. As I said, there's tons of different cards. I'm going to go into more detail with the cards when I actually show you how to play the game. This is just the opening 4 tiles that you begin with. The tiles, you can start, there's several different starting areas. This is generally considered to be the easiest of the starting areas to be able to begin the game with. All these different tokens and everything like that I will also show as well. I'm just going to show you quickly how the player pieces work. You have these little bases like that, so this would be for the red player. And you just, there's, maybe I should show you this. As you can see that there's these little raised knobs on there. And on the bottom of the miniatures, there's 2 holes. So you just take the 2 people that, you don't have to make sure you get people that represent the people that are in your group, because there's lots of different survivors. But you can try to get as close to possible, and you just put them both on there like that, and that represents your squad. Your squad isn't limited to just 2 people. As you find people, they can join you. But that's how that works. In this opening scenario that I'm going to show you, there are 2 different types of zombies. There are these guys that are green, these guys that are gray. This is considered to be a double zombie, like it's 2 zombies in one spot. And this is just a solo zombie. And if ever 2 solo zombies meet up and they start moving in the same direction, you ditch those and you start using a double zombie. But, well, there you go. I just wanted to show you those quick little things so I could make sure that you understood some of the rules and some of the paraphernalia that I'll be referring to, because I won't be showing that to you when I show you the actual gameplay of Zpocalypse. But, alright, let's go ahead and I'll show you that first scenario. Here we go. Okay, here we go. We're going to show you the first turns, I guess, of the first day of our scenario that we're picking, the basic scenario that's included with Zpocalypse. As you can see here, I have the bunker area. This is where your survivors hang out and wait until they come out to investigate the world around them and try to fight the zombies that are trying to eat them. I'm just doing a 2-player game. I have 2 little groups here ready to go. The game does handle up to 4 people, and even though it doesn't say it's a solo game, some of the scenarios work really well solo. You could just play, 2 groups and just kind of do as best as you can against the onslaught of the undead, and just see how well you can do. To begin with, in the bunker, I've already outfitted everybody with their starting equipment. The scenario does tell you how many items you get and how many weapons you get and so on and so forth. And I gave them their survivors. And so it says in the bunker, you draw 2 weapons cards, and these are armory weapons cards. And you slide them underneath here, and then you draw 2 more survivors. This is a survivor deck. And just so you can see what a survivor deck looks like, survivor card looks like, just a person, they got a little background there. And then they have the stats in the bottom, and it tells you how fast they are, their armor, their hit points, and their brains. And then it'll also tell you other things, like up here in the corner, you can see their skills, and you can see this person has a melee skill of 1. And each person has a special ability that they get to do once per day, and so that's listed there as well. And I should, I'm going to point out something real quick here. Look, they have a giant deck of survivors. So I mean, there's tons of different people that you can play, and they're really interesting, and they all have little cool little stories and stuff, and it kind of adds to the whole thing about immersion. Anyway, so those are the backup survivors. You get to place them in the bunker. They're available for people to take if they can give them food to get them out of the bunker. Also, if you should be killed or your squad is killed, they're there to replenish you so you can keep playing the game. So the game's set up. We have our opening weapons, we have our opening items, we have our 2 groups of the survivors, and we're good to go. So the first thing you do is you're going to do a scavenge, and that's the first part of the day. And so basically what it is that the people are heading out of the bunker, and they're heading out to explore the wasteland, and they're looking for for items, for food, and what have you. And so there's these cards, and they're called scavenge cards. And on the back, each person will take a turn, and they'll draw one of these cards. And you can see there's this little storyline. I'll read that here in a second or two. But on the bottom, it tells you, as far as what you need to do to succeed, and what you'll get if you succeed, and what you will get if you don't succeed. And so it tells you how many items you get and what kind of cards you draw, and also it tells you how many zombies are going to follow you back. And so what you do is, I'll read this one to you real quick here. It says Possum City. You see a road sign that says Possum City 5 mile east. You decide it could be worth the trip. As you reach the top of the hill, there's a deserted military checkpoint. Down the hill you can see that the city has been completely vaporized. There's not a standing structure in sight. Since suicide is not on the docket for the day, you choose not to go down there. Instead, you check out the trucks and guardhouse, and to your surprise, you find a person. So this one tells you right now that you rescue one survivor. So you can take a survivor card, and you can find out who it is. Looks like this is, you just take that person, and then you put that person, you turn them sideways, because you haven't fed them. They're not ready to fight for you or anything like that this time. And it says I have to roll my brains ability, and on a 5 or a Z result, Z results on these dice are 6s, you succeed. If I fail, you get 1 food card and 4 zombies follow you back. If I succeed, I'll get 2 food, 2 items, a weapon, and 5 zombies will follow me back. So let's just say I had 3 smarts. I'll roll these 3 dice, and I got a Z result. So that means I succeed, and so this person then would take, what did I get again? I got 2 items, and I got 2 food, and I got a weapon. So the armory, cool, I got a gun. So it says I found a Beretta, that's cool, I'll put that with my stuff. And then I'll look at my food, and first food is, it's a radioactive food. Now radioactive food, this one is two food. It'll feed 2 of my people, but if I feed that to them, they'll take a point of damage. But sometimes, if you don't feed the food to people, they aren't strong enough to fight the zombies. So you have to feed them food. So sometimes you just have to take the good and take the bad. And now this is actually a cool item. It's the Just What I Needed card. And it can be a food, it can be a scrap, it can be a healing kit. It's a catch-all card that you can use for several different things. And it's kind of cool that I found both of those. So I will go ahead and place that in my stuff. My items are, I got a first aid kit, and I got a scrap. And scrap is very important because it is used to build fortifications to your base. So we'll go ahead and place that down there. I'm not going to do the next one for the next player, but that part of that is done. But the very important thing is here, you have to also draw your daily goal card, which is this. And on the back, it tells you like some goal that you have to earn more experience. In this case, it says creepy. And it says, oh wait, I forgot. I'm a psycho. How do I lose track of that? So silly. My goal would be to set fire to the bunker. So basically, if I set fire to the bunker and kill everybody in there, I'll get 5 victory points or experience points. Why would I want to do that? I don't know, but maybe the 5 experience points are worth more. Maybe there's zombies in the bunker and I need to blow it up, so it'll actually work out. And my challenge is, if I use the grenade on another squad, like if I get a grenade and I blow somebody up that is actually going to blow up another player, I get to add a die roll to all my rolls for a crazy edge. So basically, if I use a grenade to hurt somebody during the combat phase, I'll get an extra die for damage or to see if I attack because I'm crazy. So once again, just a little story, a little immersion, and a fun little part of the game. So, and I should have actually drawn that before I drew the scavenge card, but what have you. So now we go ahead and we move on to phase 2, which this is after the other player's gone. We'll move on to phase 2, and we'll go on to the feeding and the fortifying of the groups. And so okay, so now we have to feed our people, as I said, food, if we got that food to feed them. And we also have to take this area here, and we need to place traps and sandbags and walls and what have you to protect ourselves from the zombies. Oh wait, I forgot to do, I jumped ahead, I apologize. Actually, before I can feed and fortify, I have to add a tile to the game, because I remember I succeeded in my search, so I have 5 zombies that are going to follow me back. So to put those 5 zombies on the map, I have to have another map tile. So now you get this big giant chunky group of tiles, and you're supposed to draw them randomly, so we just put them underneath the table and shuffle them up, but you have to trust me, I'm not looking. Here, I'm going to just pull one out in the middle. So there we go. And so here we have the tiles are double-sided, and depending on which side of starting area you have, the tiles only work so in that way. So you can see how like this won't work because it just doesn't fit. So I can't use the side with the broken car, but I can use this side with like the broken wall, and it looks like it's supposed to be, oh, it's a supermarket. It says it's a supermarket. So I find a spot to place it, and I can earn a victory point, experience basically, if I place this tile as close to the bunker entrance as possible. And the bunker entrance is right here on this map. And I apologize if you can't see that, but hopefully you can blow this up on your video screen. So I can earn a point if I place it here or here. And I can place it any way I want. Well, there's this big wall here, and zombies can't get through the wall. So, just because I want to try to make sure the zombies have as tough a time as possible to get to me, I'm going to place it here so I get the point. But now I can place like the zombies over here on the board, and they have to go this way, and they have to go around this wall to get there. Now I get to place the zombies. I get 5, so I could take 5 single zombies like this, but I'm just going to take 2 of these double zombies and 1 of these, and I'm just going to place those on the board like so. And there's also like this row here, so they actually have to go all the way around the supermarket like aisle, if you will, and so it's going to be that much tougher for them. And also, and you might have trouble seeing this. Actually, let me take this off just so I can show it to you real quick. There's this spot right there. It says search for food, and if I get one of my people to that spot, I can actually search, and if I'm successful, I get to draw a food card. And I'll explain that. There's other search areas for weapons and items and stuff like that, but I'll show you that in a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, place those 2 down there, place that guy right there, and that'd be my turn. Now I'm just going to pretend the other person went, and let's say they succeeded and whatever, and they got 3 zombies returning. And so now I draw another card here. And this is actually interesting because if you notice here, there's a manhole cover and it says tunnel entrance. You can leave the bunker through a bunker entrance, which is right there. But also, if you happen to get one with a tunnel entrance like that, they can leave through that as well. And zombies can't go through these. So these are really helpful to, like, you can pop out and fight some zombies, and you can jump back in and go someplace else. And it just costs some movement to do that. So once again, I'm going to kind of look and see what's the best way to place it. I'm going to put the tunnel entrance right there. I'm going to put that one down right there. He got 3 zombies, so I'm going to take 1 double and 1 single, and I'm going to put them as far away as possible right there. And now that person will get one victory point for placing it as close to the bunker entrance as possible. So I apologize. Now we go on to feed and fortify. Feeding is really easy. You have to feed each of your people 1 food, and then they're active. If you can't feed them, or you choose not to feed them, you place them in the bunker where they're just too weak, they can't go out and fight or anything like that, and if a zombie ever gets in there, they'll eat them up. Alternatively, if you have 2 extra food, or if you have somebody you don't want to use, and so you want to give up on them, and you can take one of the survivors that's in the bunker and give them 2 food to get them up and strong enough to come out and join your squad. So you do the feeding, and now you do fortifying. Now fortifying is actually really cool because you're actually adding pieces to the map to make it tougher for the zombies to get at you. So I'm just going to show you this real quick here, and you might not be able to read it currently, but each player board, remember I showed you these? Right here on this section actually lists off all the different things that you can build, how many scraps it takes to build each one, and how many people it takes to build them. And so depending on how many people you have, like I have 3 people in that squad, and let's say I have 3 scrap. So looking at that list, I can go down the list, and a sandbag costs a person
and that's all it is to build a sandbag. And sandbags slow zombies down because they have to climb over them, obviously. A trap, you just basically dig a trap that zombies can fall in and die in. Takes 2 people and no scrap. A wall takes a scrap, and a gate takes 2 scrap. And finally a lookout tower, something where somebody could climb up on, and they could sit up there. And they have line of sight then to any zombie, so that they can shoot at any zombie. They don't have to worry about like shooting, because they're shooting over the walls or over rubble, if you will. It takes 3 scrap to build. So I could, since I have that 3 scrap and I have 3 people, because it takes 3 people and 3 scrap, I could build 1 lookout tower, or I could build a wall and a gate, because I have a wall is 1 scrap, a gate is 2 scrap, and then each of those take 1 person. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 1 person, and I'm going to build a sandbag. That's free. I don't have to worry about scrap. And then I'm going to take 1 person, I'm going to build a wall, and I'm going to take 1 person and build a gate. And that's going to use up all my scrap. And if you notice, over here on the side, you'll see there's some victory point rewards for building those items. So hopefully, like, I can get up and to the point where I'm going to earn some extra skill points for getting more victory points for building those things. So how do you do it? You take these little cardboard tokens, like this. It's like a sandbag. And I'm going to look at the map, and I'm going to say, well, and I'm obviously going to talk to the other person that's playing, and I'm going to say, well, you know, the zombies are going to be coming this way, so why don't I put a sandbag over this entrance right there? That's going to slow the zombies down. They're going to head for that bunker, so we can slow them down. They won't be able to get in. And then I get a gate, and gates are nice because they act like walls, but humans can go through them. So there's a spot right there where they might want to try to get through, but I'll just put a gate there so humans can go in and out of there as they need, and then they don't have to worry about you know, the zombies getting through. The zombies can break down gates and walls. A double zombie can, but it takes them some time. A single zombie has to go around. Now finally, with this last wall, I'm going to look for a good spot for it, and there's an open space. Let's see here. Well, there's no real good spot for it. Maybe I could, you know, maybe I'm going to move these sandbags over here, and I'll put the wall right there, like so. So now the other player, let's just say they built a barbed wire trap on their turn, and we put the sandbag there, so maybe after they try to get through that, because zombies are dumb, we'll put the barbed wire trap right there, so if they go to the sandbag, they'll hopefully fall into the barbed wire trap and get killed. And let's take another sandbag, and let's place it there. So that whole area right there is tough. So now we've placed the things, we're ready to go on, and we're ready to move on to the next phase, which is something bad happens. So, or something's happening. And you have this deck of, basically it's an event deck. And nothing in this deck is ever good news. It's always bad news. So we'll draw a card out of that deck, and on the back there's a list there, and it says like candy. It's got some flavor text, and so this one says candy brains. You find a hidden stash of stale candy in a moldy box. Not one to waste delicious sugar you pop in your mouth and then immediately spit it out. You dump the rest outside, which causes a feeding frenzy among the zombies, like fish in a barrel. Well, then you see a lot of candy traps in your future. You know, so now it tells us that we will place a tile. Now, normally what happens in this case is that each person, you place 1 tile for each person, and you place zombies on each of those tiles. But in this case, this one actually says use only 1 tile. So depending on how many players, in this case there's 2. If there was 4, you'd still only use 1 tile. And it says place all the zombies for each player on that 1 tile. So, and if you look at the bottom of this card, you'll see it has the succeeding nights. Night 1, night 2, night 3, night 4. This is night 1. And as the nights go on, the zombies get tougher and tougher, and the game gets tougher and tougher. So in this case, I get 3 zombies per player, and they can move at 3. You know, like in comparison, in the night 4 for this, the zombies, I get 7 zombies per player, and they move at 5. So that's, you know, obviously much more difficult. So I have 6 zombies to place on 1 tile. So once again, we reach into the stack here. We'll just draw 1 at random, and we have a fairly interesting says just it's like a little single apartment or something, And now with this one, you have to place it as close to the bunker entrance as possible. So you just count number of tiles away. So you can go 1, 2, 1, 2, you know, 1, 2, no, 1, 2. So like you can go here, you know, and so on. So let's just kind of keep them all in one spot, so when the zombies rush us, we can all like just set up and be safe. So now this is actually kind of fortuitous because we can place, there's only one exit out of this area, and so we're going to be placing 6 zombies there, which is 3 double zombies, and we can put them in such a way that they're in this little spot, and it's going to take them extra time to actually leave this door and walk around, and so that gives us time to kill the other zombies. So we've placed more zombies, we placed another tile, our board is ready to go, and now it's ready to start the combat phase. So you determine who the first player is. Usually, right now, usually you go by victory point totals. But since this is, and I don't really know, I apologize, I didn't count up victory points as far in comparison for each person. So I'm just going to say the red team is first. So you get to move, and then you can see, you get to take 2 actions, and actions are, you know, moving or searching or what have you. And if you play lots of games, like 5s and 6s are basically successes in this game. And so if this team, the slowest person had a move of 5, they can say, well, you know what, I'm going to leave the bunker and I'm going to come out the tunnel. That's 1. So now they're there, and I can go 2, you know, and you can move diagonal. So, and then I see here there is a radioactive spot there, and that actually causes damage to me if I walk over it. So what I can do is I can go 2, 3, 4, and I can get close to this zombie. I'm not touching anything radioactive, and this will cause the zombies to kind of move towards me. And I'm just going to say that this is a melee heavy unit here. They have melee weapons. We don't have any guns. And so what'll happen is that we'll look at the total number of weapons. You look at the weapons, actually, and they will tell you how many dice you get to roll. So in this case, you can see this is a nightstick, and it says untrained, which is, we'll say they're untrained, it's 1 die. And here we have a dagger, and it's untrained, and it's 1 die. So we moved, and we attack. We get 2 dice. We're hoping for 5s and 6s. We total them up. So I got 1 5. That's a success. I kill a zombie. I take him off. He's dead. I get an experience point for killing him, and this squad is done. Now the second squad, we're going to say they have some weapons. They have guns, and so there's guns and a pistol. So each person's got 1 gun. Now, guns work a little differently because of the fact that bullets spray and go crazy. You might be able to, you know, do more, hit other zombies that are nearby. So what'll happen is that we're going to take them. They're going to leave. They're going to come out the gate. They're going to go 1, and let's say they can move 5. So 1, and diagonal movement is completely fine. So 1, 2, 3 out the gate, 4, 5. Now, I can see this zombie here, and he's standing there just begging me to shoot him. So, but unfortunately there's a wall there that blocks my line of sight to all the other ones. So I can't shoot at them, but I can shoot at this guy. So I'm going to have them fire their guns. I believe, since I'm untrained, I just get 1 die for each. That is true. So what'll happen is I take 2 dice, and I'm going to also take what's called this blue die, which is a ammo die that has this sign that says click on the side. If I get a click result, that means the gun is out of ammo. So we roll the dice. I did not get a click, and these are my 2 dice. I actually got 2 successes. So, bam! I've shot that zombie. He's dead. I get 1 experience. Now, the unfortunate thing is that normally what would have happened is since I got another hit, I could have actually killed another zombie in a space that was next to the spot where I shot. But since I don't have line of sight on this guy right here, The bullets are just hitting that barricade, if you will. And so unfortunately I couldn't. Now, theoretically, what I had done instead is if I had left and I'd gone up to, there's a lookout tower that's situated right there, I could have gone up to there, and provided I had the distance, because each gun does have a range, and like this firearm has a range of 6. I could have gone up there and I could have shot at any zombie that was, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. They're in range. But I wanted to have the 2 dice and I wanted to get close enough to be able to shoot. So put that guy back down there. Both the people have had their 2 actions, and now the zombies get to go. So zombies, this is a blocked spot, so I can't go through there, but I can go 1, 2, and the zombies will be right there to attack. Technically, these zombies don't know that they're here because they're blocked with line of sight. But as soon as they see them and they're within 4, they'll head to the squad. So, well, I guess a case can be made that this zombie could see it. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, so they're right there to fight. This zombie can't see anybody to fight, so they are heading towards the bunker. That's what they do. So they'll go 1, and then they'll see, so now they're going to get in line 2, 3. You remember, zombies are dumb, and then if there's ever a discrepancy as far as what people think the zombies would do, whoever is in the lead gets to decide where the zombies go. If there's ever a situation where 2 squads are equidistant from each other, the zombies will split up, and half will go each way. If there's any leftover, like say there's 5 zombies, the extra one will go after the group that's killed the most zombies, because they're more of a threat. And the smell of death is on you. So, and then these zombies will just start shuffling out. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, he gets stuck there, 1, 2. So, now these groups have to contend with the fact that zombies are attacking them. So, zombies attack. The first thing that you get to do is you get to roll your defense dice for each of your people. And what you're looking for is you're looking for a 5 or 6, and that basically prevents that zombie from ripping you apart, if you will. You're fighting back, and the zombies, like you see in the movies when thematically zombies try to rip people apart, but they never seem to be able to they always kick them up free or whatever, and it takes a while before zombies are able to do it. But so you get to roll, so 2 dice, there's 2 zombies, so you're hoping to get 2 successes. That means both zombies are unable to attack. So we'll roll, I got 1 success. So when a zombie gets to attack, it is considered that they automatically hit, you roll a die, and you take that much damage. So in this case, there'll be 1 point of damage, which is probably good because you probably have 1 armor. So they, take no damage. Situation over here. Once again, 2 dice. Uh-oh, no successes. So these 2 zombies are going to rip apart the squad. So we roll how much damage we do. So 5 points of damage. And let's be lesson, don't roll on top of the thing. You'll knock your stuff around. So you do 5 damage. Let's say there's only 2 armor on there. So you take 3 and you click that off. And now you're starting to wonder, you're starting to wonder maybe you should head back, or can we regroup, or what have you. Getting surrounded in this game is a death sentence. If zombies get around you and you have a ton of them on top of you, you can only defend. You only get to roll 1 die per person that you have, and they'll rip you apart. So always keep a wall behind your back. Just to kind of explain to you how the different things work. If a zombie, they have to spend a turn climbing over the sandbag, and then they get off of it before they can go. A wall, if it's a double zombie, they can break through it on 1 turn, then the next turn they get through it. Like gates, same deal. Barbed wire traps, if a zombie falls in, like a single zombie falls into it, you actually flip the trap over, and you can see it says 1 zombie trapped over there. And then when another zombie falls on it, you just take it off the board, meaning that it's got as many zombies as it can possibly kill. Nobody gets any experience for killing a zombie with a trap, however. But those are really, really helpful, and I really like those, actually. It's like you can kind of forget about defending a certain spot, and you can let the zombies kill themselves, and while you concentrate your fire otherwise. Now, Play just continues until either you're dead or the zombies are dead. Once the zombies are dead, then you move on to the next day and you see if you survive. A couple other things, quick, just so you understand how the different mechanics work. If you're on a spot where you can search, like there's a spot right here which says search item, and your people are on that spot, you roll the dice compared to your smarts. Let's say there's a smarts of 4 here, and you're trying for a success. And I got a success, so I would get to draw a card off the item deck. Now, and so, ooh, I got a scrap. Now, the added thing about that is there's these little tokens over here with these red X's. And what you're doing is you'll take one of these tokens at random, and you flip it over and you look at it. In this case, there is a 3. And then you place that on that spot like that. Meaning that if somebody else wants to search there, they have to have brains of at least 3 to be able to try and search again. It's like you're using up the spot, if you will, and so things are tougher to find. Now, let me find one. You can actually have bad luck, and you can turn one over that says this, and it's a zombie head with 3. And that means that after, if you had done that and I pulled that over, immediately you spawn 3 zombies around your group. And so obviously that could be very bad to search, but sometimes you have to because you need weapons or what have you. If you do get a click, meaning that your gun runs out of ammo, you have to either basically not use anything, or there are cards that allow you to spend them, and they are ammo, and that allows you to basically use the gun again. If you never run out of this, it's kind of like a movie gun, and you just get to keep shooting it and shooting it and shooting it. The final thing is, if a zombie finally does manage to break in and get into the bunker through one of the entrances, and you can actually pull different entrances up when you draw these tiles, so sometimes you end up defending multiple spots. If a zombie gets in here, you have to fight the zombies, obviously, because they're going to eat the people that are in here. They're too weak to defend themselves. Every turn that there's at least one zombie, that one zombie will eat one of the survivors that's in the bunker. And that creates another zombie, obviously, because zombies rise from the dead of what they eat and they kill them. And so if there's like 2 or 3, each zombie will eat one until there's finally no people left in the bunker. And then the zombies will come out of the bunker and chase you down. And they actually get +2 movement at that point because they're going for the kill. So it's a really bad deal if you get in the bunker. If you are in the spot with the bunker, this is all considered to be one spot. And so you don't have to maneuver your guy around or anything like that. It's just a cramped area where you're fighting hand to hand. But then, like I said, yeah, once you get done with the day, you pull up the next thing. You start the whole process over. You get to scavenge. You get to feed and fortify again. And, then something's happening, something bad happens, and you fight more zombies. And each day it gets tougher and tougher to fight the zombies. The zombies get tougher. Eventually the zombies start going first instead of the players going first. Eventually you don't get any defense dice. And so the game is just brutal. My buddy Craig actually says, this is a depressing game because there's really, even if you're trying to see how long you can last, I mean, we've never lasted all 4 days. It just becomes it just becomes too tough. The board is huge, so you got more room to play around with, but it's just covered in zombies, and there's really nothing you can do. But it's a lot of fun, though. It is kind of fun just playing a game where you have no chance. But well, I really like the game. It's just an awesome thematic game. But let me tell you exactly what I think. All right. Hey, box fart. Is there any cooler than the box fart? Okay, there's lots of things cooler than the box fart. But the accidental box fart is funny. The purposeful, when you just sit there like this, and you're like, huh? Ooh, silent but deadly. Those, when you're trying to do it on purpose, not nearly as funny. Alright, so. Zpocalypse. That's how you play the game. Or at least, you'll have a very good understanding of how to play the game. There's lots of different scenarios and lots of different things out there. And plus, there's an entirely
other expansion that I didn't show you, the Z Master expansion, and I plan on doing a video for that as well. That adds a 5th player to the game, a person that's going to control the zombies instead of them just moving around in a set rote path that you know that they'll be taking. So, okay, why do I like Zpocalypse? I referenced the whole idea of the 2 separate games, and it really feels like that. I mean, there was a really kind of, well, it wasn't awesome, but it was really basic Flash game, and I wish I still had the link for it, that put you in charge of a group of survivors, and then you went and it was online, and I'm pretty sure somebody will probably tell, and they'll see this video, and maybe they'll post it, which would be cool if they did. But you were in control of a certain number of survivors, and you went out and you would search different blocks of a city. This is on computer, obviously, and then you'd go there, and then you try to find other people, or you try to find supplies and what have you. And then when the night came or whatever, that's when the zombies attacked. And depending on how well you did in preparation for the zombie attack, that determined how well you did. And it seems weird that I'm mentioning this, and that sounds exactly what this game is. I'm guessing. Everybody, I think, has come up with a zombie game idea in their head. One of the games I personally, me and like several of my friends, brainstormed up an idea of a zombie game. The idea of, it was like it was a hodgepodge of a little bit of a deck building and some trader mechanics and things like that of a group of people trying to like make it to safety, if you will. And I'm not going to say much more about it, because if I ever print it off, I don't want anybody stealing my ideas. No, it'll never come to fruition. But anyway, so the idea that like this was taken from that idea, and I completely buy into the idea that people could have the same idea at the same time. Regardless, I really like the idea that every facet of this game tells a narrative to me as I'm playing it. My survivors leave the bunker and they go out and they search, and I draw one of these scavenge cards, and it has the really cool text on there where it's like, oh, you come across a strip club, stripper zombies, this could be ugly. And so you read this text and you have that experience of searching, and you find that spot, and then you roll the dice and you see what happens. And then whether something good or bad comes, that's when you start acting the stuff out at the table with your friends and cursing your luck or cheering when somebody does really well. And then the game stops being a game at that point and starts becoming an experience. And I've talked many times in my videos about immersion. And I mean, I don't expect a game like Bora Bora to have a ton of immersion for me. It's a dry Euro that I still enjoy incredibly, but it's a game, and this is an experience that is a game. And I know the game is like, it says it's like, oh, you can try to be the best survivor out of everybody, but I mean, it really isn't that. I mean, the game, I find Zpocalypse to be the most fun. Actually, there's tons of scenarios, so I mean, you have lots of replayability going on with the game, but I find the game to be best when we sit down, me and 3 of my friends, and we say, we're going to make it through 4 days, and that's our goal, because the game is just freaking brutal, and it'll destroy you. I mean, when you try to do that, but we've done it once, and we failed numerous times. But the whole point is that I think this game works best as a cooperative, a straight cooperative game. Who cares about the points? Just try to live. And when you do that, the game then proceeds to tell you that story. It tells you about, you know, your brave heroes and your survivors. And when you get somebody new and you add them to your group, you know, you kind of they get a cool narrative all their own. I mean, I really like it when I get the dog. I do like the dog survivor, and I like having him on my side, and you know, princess, and you know, because they're able to scavenge better. But also, I just like the fact that I still have to feed her, you know, and she, you know, but you know, and she can fight the zombies, obviously, but you know, it's like you always want to root for the puppy, right? So, but no, I mean, the whole step of the way. I mean, and plus, you know, just the building of the barricades and things like that. I mean, that's just it takes you out of that story aspect, the first part of the game, if you will, and then it says, okay, now here's your strict tactical. This is where, and everybody sits down and they stare at the board and they're like, okay, you know, and like I said, we take ourselves away from the whole idea of like getting as many victory points as we possibly can to build this or build that. We talk amongst ourselves and say, okay, we're gonna need barricade. We're gonna need a pit trap. We're gonna need the lookout tower here, and then we plan that out. And then each person does that, and they place their and we put ourselves in the bunker, and the zombies start showing up, and then everybody works together. You know, deciding, okay, you know, you need to go over here and fight them. Okay, I need to go over here. I need healing. Can you get over here? You know, stuff like that, and the game really becomes a great co-op struggle. You know, I mean, Arkham Horror is my absolute favorite game, and that game is a wonderful co-op struggle for me and my friends. And this masks and mirrors that feeling of intensity, that feeling of desperation, and the game is at its absolute best when it feels like there's absolutely nothing you can do to win, but you still are rolling the dice, and you're still, you know, just hope against hope. Can I get the perfect situation? You know, am I able to, you know, just get the perfect lucky roll, and I'm able to kill off, you know, the zombies and able to pull out a win. And that it really glows as that whole never say die attitude. I mentioned in the intro that there's lots of zombie games, or maybe I mentioned it in this conclusion. There's lots of zombie games out there, and I think I've played darn near all of them. I'm sure there's one or two out there that have escaped my watchful gaze, if you will. You know, and a lot of them have lots of good merit to them. You know, Zombies, the first one, and, you know, rest in peace. You know, I mean, thank you for creating the game, good sir. But you know, I mean, and I still own all my Zombies exclamation point game and expansions, and that game is one of the very first games I ever played with my wife, and I love that game for the beer and pretzels aspect of it. It doesn't take itself too seriously, you know, and you know, so I mean, I enjoy playing that game. Last Night on Earth, another great narrative one against all, like, kind of like semi co-op game in the venue of Descent, that and those types of games. You know, another like I mentioned, Zombicide. You know, and I haven't played the game. I demoed it at Gen Con last year, but I enjoyed it a great deal when I played it, and I've heard lots of really good things about it. You know, I mentioned the Rise of the Zombies. But I mean, all of those games. I should All Things Zombie. I did a review of that a long time ago, and by Lock and Load, and that game kind of reminded me a little bit of this. But like, as I said, this has the greater immersion to it. It has the greater storyline to it, if you will. And so the bottom line is that, you know, for me, you know, this game, you can have all that great storyline and all that great thematic feel. But if the mechanics didn't back up what was going on, you know, you would lose touch, and it would go through your fingers, if you will. So what I've realized with this game is that the mechanics are just complicated enough to be interesting, but they're also so straightforward that you don't get mired in this rule book, looking up what means what and what means that, and that isn't to say that you know, the rule book is bad. I mean, you read through this once, and you might have to go back to it a couple of times. But I mean, it's very straightforward, excellent examples and what have you. And so this game, even though it can take a couple 2-3 hours, especially if you're trying to go for 4 days on that main scenario, I mean, it can take a while to get through it. You never really feel like you're bogging down. You never really feel like time you're like, when is this game to be over? That isn't. It's a wonderfully tense and exciting experience, and I guess I can't recommend it enough if you are a thematic game lover, if you like tactical combat, if you like immersive storylines, if you just, and if you totally dig zombies. I mean, this game is a must-buy. You know, and I guess I'm really thankful I own it, and if you can put yourself in any of those categories I just listed off, I really can't think of any reason why you shouldn't own it. I mean, you know, I can't think of it's my favorite zombie game, bottom line, and it's the best one out there that I'm familiar with and that I'm aware of. If I'm going to play a game about zombies and I have the time available to me to play this, I'm going to dig this sucker out, and I'm going to play with my friends, and I'm going to have a blast. So, there you go. Zpocalypse. That's the rulebook. Zpocalypse. Greenbrier Games. That's a cool name. Greenbrier Games. I don't even know what that means. Anyway, so check it out. Track it down. If you think it's a game you want to add to your gaming shelf, you can go ahead and track that sucker down and purchase it, and so you can put it on there. I do know that they have an expansion that is in Kickstarter right now, and I think I don't quote me, but I believe that for a certain level of commitment to the Kickstarter, you can get an original copy of Zpocalypse along with the expansion sent to you as a reward level. But don't quote me on that. I haven't checked out I remember I checked it out, but I might not be remembering it correctly at this point. But so that might be something you might want to look into. You can get the whole shebang in one fell swoop. So alright, so Zpocalypse, if you have any questions or concerns about gameplay or issues or whatever rules, or you just want to disagree with me as far as my opinions on this in comparisons to other zombie games, by all means, leave those down there, and I'll try to answer those to the best of my ability. As always, I greatly appreciate you taking the time to watch this video, and yeah. So this is Undead Viking. I will talk to you again soon enough. And until then, you have yourself an awesome day, or week, or month, or whatever it is, until you watch another one of my videos. You should watch another one right now, or like after this one. Alright, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.